I can't believe I'm halfway done with my first semester of senior year, but it must be around that time, judging from the number of random items zooming around our apartment, which means that Lacey has midterms this week. Luckily, no one has been attacking her lately, though frankly I'm not sure she would mind the distraction. All my midterms are spread out for once, which gives me both more time to prepare and more time to stress for each individual one. This fall, in some of my classes, I've been talking to some freshmen, and I'm hearing all about people back home who are starting to apply for colleges, and it's put me in an advice-giving mood. As a senior, I obviously haven't learned everything, but I have picked up a few tricks, so I figured I'd give some thoughts on surviving college. First off, you should actually show up to class and do your homework. While chances are you might not do all your reading all the time, it's still important to build good work habits even when your parents aren't around to tell you all the time. And talk to your professors. I think this one gets said a lot, but it's because it's true. You don't have to become friends with all of them, but if there's a class you're really interested in, it's nice to be able to talk to them about the subject or about your future plans. Maybe down the line you'll be able to get job tips or use them as a reference. Or even if there's just a class you're having trouble with, a lot of professors will look over your assignments ahead of time and give feedback. If anything, just being someone familiar out of however many students they have is probably a positive. Also, talk to the other people in your classes. Depending on the class, you might already have common interests, or it's good to at least know people in case you need to exchange notes or anything. Generally, try to talk to a lot of people, especially as a freshman. During your orientation, you'll probably meet a lot of people, and depending on the size of your school, some of them you might not ever see again, but that happens. What's important is trying to make connections and seeing what kind of people you like to hang out with. And eventually you'll find the people who you do want to be friends with. And it helps to go to stuff. Try clubs, join study groups, if nothing else because these places will oftentimes have free food. But also because they are good ways to meet nice people and explore your interests and get experience for later in life. In my freshman year, I got super homesick, as a lot of people do, and my response was just to stay really busy. And it helped. And try new things. Try to have cool and interesting experiences while you're young and have a little bit of leeway as a dumb college student. Don't do anything like illegal, but maybe say yes to some things you wouldn't have before. And lastly, just try not to worry too much. A little bit of stress and worry is normal, and of course if you're freaking out about things too much you should talk to a professional, but try not to worry about everything all the time. Maybe I'm projecting my own worry-prone tendencies, but I would worry about classes and about organizing everything, and about whether I was doing college correctly, whatever that means. And sometimes it was my worrying that got in the way of stuff. Everything will probably be fine. You'll have resources and freedom and people all around you, and even if sometimes things turn out badly, for the most part things tend to go okay. If you have any other college-y questions or tips to offer, feel free to leave comments. I know this was sort of a random hodgepodge of advice. And next week I think we should have some real news. I'm sorry to just tease and not tell you immediately, but this is an issue of other people's privacy, so we have to make sure we have everything confirmed and right on this one. So tune in next week.